Hello, the internet. Saffron here, going back into a summer with the Shiba Inu. And we're back at Max's apartment after having spent the day with Queely and looking for clues as to Sid's brother. All right, so now we're going to see what's going to go on. All right. I'm lounging on a chair in Max's apartment, waiting for him to get home. Last night I woke up back on the bed in the apartment. I vaguely remember Max carrying me up to the apartment, so I guess I wasn't fully passed out. I wasn't fully conscious either. A dog's body uses up nutrients while the mind is in the comatose arena state, which is why the ARI hooks us up to all those life support things, in official arenas, that is. Good thing that after a good sleep and a meal, I felt well enough to meet with Queely. And then I hear the locks clicking, and in steps Max. Hey Max, you're up. He sets down his bag by the desk. When did you wake up? I think around noon. Thanks for the food, by the way. In the morning, I awoke to take out egg crepes and a note on the dining table. It was from Max and said to eat as much as I want and to text him if I feel unwell. You know exactly how much I love egg crepes. How could I forget after watching you eat them every single day for 3 years? And that's what you ordered at Q restaurant, so I knew right away that you hadn't changed at all. Gah, I know, sometimes I'm an open book. Definitely a creature of habit. Max makes a face at me. How was your day? What were you up to? Well, I went to meet with Queely. She said she had a new lead. I pull out the photo of my brother and show it to him. He takes it wordlessly and scrutinizes it. Oh wow, she managed to get the security footage? That's an amazing clue. She must have really good sources. Yeah, I'm starting to think there's something fishy about that. I notice that Max has a strange expression on his face and doesn't seem to have heard me, so I look at him to see if he'll say anything. He doesn't respond immediately. What are you looking at, Max? You didn't tell me you were going to meet with the lab. I mean, not that you had to. It makes me worry that you'd go without messaging me, just in case. He seems upset. I'm sorry, Max, I didn't tell you. I'm sure he's just looking out for me. Plus, now that we know dogs can re-challenge me, not to mention me fainting yesterday, it is reasonable that he'd worry that something dangerous could have happened. However, I wouldn't have gone if I didn't think I could take care of myself. Still, I should speak carefully. I know Max. He wouldn't bring this up unless he really cares about it. What should I say? I'm gonna apologize. Well, I don't want to just change the topic, though. It should be addressed. I'll explain. It took me 10.66 seconds. Really? Should it have taken less time? I mean, that you should think about something like that. Look, Max, I can tell you're upset. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. He pouts and glares away at the door, suddenly very interested in it. He totally is, right? It's like, clearly. I really thought I'd be safe going to meet with Queely. If I got ambushed, I would have Queely to take care of me. But what if... Yeah, I know what you're thinking. What if she betrayed me or didn't look out for me? Look, Max, I know you're worried, but trust me when I say that I felt the risk was worth the information to be gained. Worst comes to worst, I was prepared to use the feather, that's all. Poor Max. You're right, you can take care of yourself better than I could, in a pinch. I'm sorry that I was so difficult, but give me a quick update next time you go running out, okay? All right, it's a deal. So back to before I distracted you. You were saying there might be something strange about Queely? Yeah, after meeting Queely yesterday, something has been on my mind. Like you said, she has really good contacts. See, she seems to know dogs' ranks well. Even I don't know where to start looking for that, so I can't imagine how difficult it might be for the general public. However, she does have a really high rank. So I wonder, she could be using her rank to get the information, in which case I'm not too happy about that. Or she works at the ARI. So you're saying the information might be classified? So she either used her rank rights or simply has direct access to it herself? Yes, either or. It's silly of me to not know much about the Allocated Reality Institute itself. I should have learned more about their operations before I left the island. Do they really allow such loopholes for information leaks like rank rights? Max's tone turned serious. Sid, it is perfectly within the lab's rights to use her rank rights. I doubt that any ARI member would be an exception. Any dog has to obey the dog whose rank is above them. It is the purpose of the ARI to determine who on the island is deserving and to separate the good dogs from the bad. Wow, what a caste system. I grimace. The rights to alter reality are allocated accordingly. My voice is just a croak. Even after so many years, I still remember the dogma of the ARI. Ha! Now imagine having to hear it again and again, day after day. I fell for the Allocated Reality Institute's promise of a dream. We all fell for it. Max sighs. It's the way things work. Even if you don't use rank rights, everyone else is still doing it. If Queelee did, would you hate her? I mean, it wouldn't be fair to hate her. I think I would be disappointed, but yeah, it would be unfair to judge her for using her rank rights. I've tried to use my rank rights as little as possible, but I have used it before. I can't enforce my value on someone else. Either way, I will try to get that information out of Queelee on what her sources are. Does anyone know the typical ranks of dogs that work at the ARI itself anyway? I have no idea. I think their members are kept secret, but I've heard that dogs that are keen on an ARI position aim for very high ranks. I see. Be careful, Sid. I mean it. I really hope the ARI itself isn't out to get you. Especially now that random dogs on the street can just kidnap you and force you into an arena. Eek, I certainly hope the ARI isn't after me. I'd like to see them try, though. I'm worried, but it was actually kind of fun. I thanked you for getting breakfast for me, but totally forgot. Thanks for bringing me back last night. No problem. You were kind of awake, but definitely not awake enough to come back by yourself. I was prepared to stay till the arena was done, no matter how long it took in real-world hours. Yeah, even though time passes much quicker in the arenas, there's no telling how much time it might last, huh? How was hei-fei after we woke from the arena, by the way? I called a cab for her as well. Woke her up enough to ask her to pay with her own pendant. He wasn't nice enough to pay. Speaking of which, how much was it? I'll transfer you some tags. Don't worry about it. I mean, I already see where this is going. You'll insist because you feel bad. My face grows red, though I know he's just joking. Buy me a drink next time. Okay, deal. Just then I get an email notification. It's Queelab! I've attached a sheet of company names and their logos generated from image recognition. I've included the raw list as well as marking down ones I would delete after checking manually, but I've left them in case you spot something. Got it. Thanks, Queelee. Download files. Okay, I guess that's our option. Say, Max, you want to help me go through these? Sure thing. We spent some time going through the sheet. In the end, we still have quite a long list of logos that could be a match. I have an idea. Oh, hey QL, could you do a search of where the companies are located physically? Sure thing, one sec. Moments later, I get a message notification. Download files. Okay, perfect. New columns have been added to the data set with the addresses as well as geohashes. Oh, so reliable. I plot the locations onto a map, leaving only ones that are within a certain radius to NJ station and KH station. I tinker around with how large the radius should be, eventually setting on encompassing just up to the stations preceding and following them on the MRT lines. If he had really left some hint related to location, it wouldn't make sense if it was somewhere too far from the two stations. It's amazing this can all work on wrist phones. Yeah, I know, right? I remember when you had to do even lightweight work on computers, right? In K9 DA, I worked for technology research. We were using the equivalent to desktop computers here for most things. Processing power of phones isn't as advanced there. Things in general aren't as convenient, but at my work, basically we were responsible for developing and improving technologies, hardware, software, I took a lot of inspiration from what existed on the island. I bet you had quite some suggestions for them. I did! When I left, technology on the island was still more advanced than K9 does. So I was able to repurpose some of the software for use in K9 DA. The dogs I worked with were brilliant and came up with most of the implementation based on their current hardware capabilities. As we chat, I send Max a copy of the data. Upon receiving the mail notification, he pulls up the data. Alright, let's go through these data points first. You do station KH and I'll do NJ. Max nods in agreement and we pore over the map with a renewed focus. One by one, we examine the details of each company on the short list, in case there's something of significance based on its exterior appearance, or the types of goods or services it provides. Hey Sid, take a look at this. He points to a name on his hologram map. Explanation. Obsidian Rock Industries. Office location, 9th floor. This could be it. No, this must be it. I'll go through the rest of them just to be sure there's nothing else. Yeah, I think I could catch this one because I know enough about you. But there's an even more obvious hint from than Obsidian Rock, you would be the dog to catch it. Yeah, you're right. Either way, there might be something else to look for, since Obsidian Rock is near KH Station. There might be a clue near NJ Station too. Yeah. I continue looking down my map. I'm about around halfway through and nothing really rings a bell. There's a bunch of coffee shops, but all of them had opened after I left. Even if Chun-wen had wanted to hint at something we went to together, I couldn't reliably say if I could recognize it by name or pictures. It's been over a decade. My memory isn't that good, and the establishments might have gone through renovations. Hey Sid, I looked up the company. Their website is really bare bones. Just lists their address and has a picture of the exterior of the building. Nothing about what they do. Interesting. I'll pay a visit tomorrow. I pull up my messages and debate whether to tell Kui Li. I'm still not 100% sure if she might be an agent for the ARI or something. Right now, my instincts are telling me that. Is she an agent? Her instincts are saying so. But... Shush, Kenny Siri. No. Shush. Okay, is she an agent? I don't think she's an agent. We're gonna say she's an agent. I don't have enough proof to be sure, though. I decide to tell her either way. Well, then what the heck was the point? After all, it's not like my brother would just be living at the Obsidian Rock Industries office address. Knowing him is probably just one step and several more to actually finding him. So even if Kui Li does work for the ARI, she wouldn't be the last step to finding him. I might still need her help. When push comes to shove, I could still double-cross her later. Still scheming. And since Obsidian Rock is one of his hints, it means that only myself and dogs I've known for long enough could plausibly decipher this. Though, given Kui Li's track record, I can't rule out the possibility that she already knows the significance of Obsidian Rock, or could find out. I don't know what Obsidian Rock is either. In the case that she hasn't figured it out yet, I suppose there's no harm in just telling her the name Obsidian Rock, but not the meaning of it. Jeez, I just can't speak anymore. When the investigation reaches the point where she cannot proceed on her own, I will no longer be dependent on her for her new leads. Basically, I'll use her as much as possible, with the new complication that she might be a double agent. Maybe I shouldn't worry so much. Chun-wen must have put in some safeguards to prevent a random third party from finding him. Let's hope that my trust in him won't jeopardize him. Hey QL, could you help look up information on Obsidian Rock Industries? It's near KH Station. K. Just like that. Okay, K. It's pretty funny though. Chun-wen and I used to play scavenger hunt games like this. Before the arenas, before everything. When we were just puppies living on the plains. Living your merry life with the prod dogs? Ha ha ha. It's been so many years, but you can't come up with new jokes? Old habits die hard. Geez, I guess it's still kind of funny. Makes my stomach hurt kind of funny. It's hurting in a bad way. Damn, I'd lived a decade in peace away from these jokes from the island. I deserve this, seeing as I used to make fun of prods with even more gusto, with real venom too. I don't know what that means either. Later that night. I am Timmy of the Tap Clan. Timmy! My superior, Monukai, has summoned you on the behalf of Master IU. I knew he shouldn't have wandered down a deserted alley, even if it was a shortcut to the MRT station. I'm so fed up with all this mediocrity around me. It is poisoning me, dragging me down. Why do I have the luck of ending up here? I deserve better. No matter the cost, I will escape from here. Oh, okay, now we're back. Okay. This hopping back and forth is getting just a little annoying. You don't know whether you're coming or going. My cord is tangled. I'm tangled. I don't like being tangled. Okay, anyway. All right, so now we're back here. You sure you don't need any help carrying that, boss? Actually, could you help me with half of it? I grinned sheepishly and hoist part of the sticks I was carrying on my back to her. Thanks so much, Ayu. No problem. We continue on in comfortable silence back to what we had dubbed the beach house. It's pretty quiet here, situated in the sparse forest overlooking the ocean. Short palm trees dot the island, which is actually quite vast. Those are short palm trees? We picked this location because it's relatively secluded from both sides by a half basin. Strangely, it doesn't seem like other dogs come to our side of the island often, but when we go further north along the coast, we can usually find them. And of course, eliminate them. We've had pretty good luck with that so far. Back in the beach house, we set down the fruits and sticks that we had foraged. Sticks go in a pile next to the door, while fruits go on the plates, which are really just wooden planks. Going through the motions of foraging and eating, it doesn't seem like we're hunting each other in a race to the top. After all, a dog doesn't need to be in first place. Making it to the top 5 would be good enough to proceed in a competitive bracket. However, I doubt these prod dogs are really thinking that far. Prod dogs? Why did my parents have to move here? Ayu and I eat the fruits in silence. My ears are alert in case any intruders decide to pay a visit. The next part of our routine is to take a walk east around the coast. Tidying things up and putting away our plates, we close up the beach house and trot towards the beach. The sand flows and shifts pleasantly under my paws, making a soothing, trickling sound. With deliberate steps, I allow the sand to cover my paws, enjoying the sensation of the particles running between my claws. In a shallow area of the water, there sits rocks covered with sea lichen, with interesting cavities from erosion by the waves. Ayu hops around in them, and I follow, the waves lapping at my feet. Wasn't Ayu one of the dogs she eliminated? Like in the previous flashback, flash forward, flashback? I don't know. She leaps off one of the rocks, submerging herself fully in the water before bobbing up and yanking me down with her. I yap in surprise, but quickly shut my mouth as I am plunged in the water. Bubbles burst all around me, and I flail my limbs to float upwards. The light shimmers under the water, and I see seaweed and coral painting a colorful backdrop in the ocean before I emerge with a gasp of air. Haha, it's deeper here than it looks. I splash Ayu with water, and she sticks a tongue out playfully at me before she treads away, paddling with her front limbs. I'm going to get you back for this. We proceed to have a lengthy water fight before we head back on shore. Oh, how much fun. They're having a good time. All right, time to get serious. I reach up to my face and pretend to adjust imaginary sunglasses, a gesture which she returns. It's a ritual of sorts, which just naturally come into place. A sign of teamwork and camaraderie, mutually acknowledging the good work we've done over the last few days. 2 days ago. Island year day 2, sure. I have lost track of the timeline. I have no idea. It's kind of like watching The Witcher on Netflix. I pin the yapping down on the sand. I don't further attack her though, simply holding her in place. Call it a respite before the real pain begins. Ayu, who had been hiding just in the line of palm trees, comes bounding out. She joins me above the pinned victim, taking a huge swipe at her neck. The body I had pinned slowly dissolves into ashes, its particles floating into the air. Ayu and I watch it disappear. It's as if a living being wasn't here just a second ago. I hold out a paw towards Ayu, and she meets it with a high five. Sweet, that's another one down. Hell yeah. I put a paw up to my face, pretending to adjust an imagining pair of sunglasses. Ha, we're just so good at this. She mimics my movement, a smile as smug as mine on her face. Where to now, boss? Don't call me that. But let's keep going clockwise down the coast. Maybe we'll find an area that's good to set up camp. We walk for what seems like a couple of hours until the evening, not encountering any other dogs. Kind of strange, there have been fewer dogs since we started heading southwest. Well, it does seem that we all spawned on the island in the same area around the northeast shore of the island. Weirdly, I keep having a dream that instead of spawning, we were dropping in the ARI from a flying bus. Really? Anyhow, it seems that there aren't many dogs that bother exploring the island further. Or teaming up, for that matter. I wonder if they expect to do well, or even plan to. Like you said, we're prod dogs. I don't think it's something we really think about. I still don't know what prod dogs is. I'm glad you're special in that regard, though. It's strange being the only non-prod dog here. I take her paws in mine. But I know you want this as badly as I do. We'll rank top tier in this arena and proceed to a good bracket, which we deserve. Ayu nods vigorously and gives me a determined smile. We continue on our way and decide to head deeper into the foliage before it gets too dark to see. As luck would have it, we stumble across a small hut. We double check the perimeter, checking for signs of inhabitants. With me at the rear as backup, Ayu then charges inside. Turns out there's no one inside, and so we make it our temporary base. The next day we forage further down the island, but don't find any more dogs. We get a good haul of supplies and bring them back to the hut. 2 more days pass and we continue using the hut. We decided it would be a waste not to use it as a long-term base and name it the beach house. Okay, so now we're back at day 4. Okay. And I think that's going to be a good place to stop it. It's not a good place to stop it, but I got to stop it here. So otherwise the episode's going to get too long. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, ring that bell, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all later.